such an international cast. It's such a story that resonates, internationally. What do you think makes it so appealing all over the world? This is for the Middle East.
I think because it's a got a very diverse cast of people who speak different languages from different backgrounds, different cultures, and it's those differences that make them much stronger. And I think that feels totally relevant for how the world is today and what we need in the world today.
Yeah. And how did you find the interaction with the fans on this? I mean, it's a whole world of like a huge fan base, right?
Well, it's just really joyous. There's nothing cynical about anyone watching Star Wars, and it was a bit like when we'd be on set and we'd remember different bits from the film. And I remember just even now we're in the car on the way over, we were remembering bits of Luke Skywalker being trapped in the compressor, and C-3PO trying to get them out. And so you're constantly, you can't help but it reminds you of being a child. There's a nostalgia. So I really share in the fan love of Star Wars.
Yeah, even the research. I was hearing you saying like watching all of them all over again is part of the research, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you're doing everything, and particularly those A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. They were such an inspiration, and you sort of kind of try and be quite scientific about it. You find yourself going, and what is it that makes them so good? And trying to distill it, and actually, it's almost impossible. You can't really. There was something magic that happened, and you have to be true to the film you're making, and really, you have to be bold and do something original.
Yeah, and finally, do you have like a best memory from the set, or like just moments that were fun, or that you can share with us?
Oh
Finally, we can
gosh.
talk about it.
Yeah, there were so many. Well, I remember there was a giant polar bear who has something to do with kyber crystals who would be on the set, and this sort of white, fluffy creature. And I just remember being completely sort of watching from afar going, I cannot believe I'm on a set with a giant white bear. I mean, I never quite thought this would happen.
Oh, hey.
Hey, I'm Kat from Hey Guys. Lovely to meet you. I guess I'm going to start with the obvious question. What is it like for you to join the Star Wars universe?
That's exciting. I mean, it's just like something that I like watched since I was a kid or young, and to get a chance to be a part of it's really extraordinary.
The fan base is so unique with the Star Wars movies. How is it to finally be able to, share it with them and get
Yeah, I mean, I'm learning about the fervor of the fans, which is cool. It's like it really is this unique universe, that people follow and know so much about. So I think it's fun because the excitement around it is so high. It's unusual to be in a film that before it even comes out, so many people are like talking about it and trying to find little secrets and details and debating about what's going to happen, and even with the smallest little information, it's pretty exciting.
It's a movie that resonates so well internationally, right? What do you think makes it resonate so well?
I think the themes, it deals with themes of good and evil, dark and light. It deals with oppression and fighting oppression, It deals with finding power inside of yourself, manifesting that. It deals with empowerment. It's all those kind of things, make people want to see it because they relate to them in their everyday lives.
Having a water?
Thank you. Thank you. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
I couldn't be happier. I'm having a great night. This is a good day, a day I've been waiting for quite a long time.
Yeah, after so long having to keep the secret, especially for a movie that's so based on the fans, right? Finally doesn't.
It's not just about the secret. It's about the love that that you find behind this film, the love of the fans and the enthusiasm around this project. It's that expectation that finally we're gonna feed, and I feel proud for the film we made, and also as a fan, I can't wait for this film to be out there.
Yeah, and it's such an international cast. I mean, it resonates so well internationally. How do you think that is?
Well, I think that is important because this film is talking about the world we live in, a world where racial and cultural diversity is everywhere, and we want people to feel reflected on the screen, We want people to connect with the story and the characters and their journey, and it's important to have a modern approach to Star Wars, and I think it's a very smart move.
And where do you base your research for a movie like that?
Well, in military training and the experience of ex-military, I had a chance to work with them for two weeks, and besides all the physical training and like the strategical training I had to get, it was about listening to their experiences and finding out how you keep sane in war, because my character has been fighting for the rebellion all his life, so that was useful.
What feedback have you been getting already?
Well, just very, very positive things. I witnessed a screening with fans, and they loved it, and that's why we made this film. We want to connect with them, so I think it's gonna work fine.
Hello.
So this is for the Middle East. It's such an international cast. What do you think makes the movie resonate so well internationally?
I think that the why it's resonating so well in the world and has been doing that for 40 years is a mystery in many ways. I mean, he created a fantastic universe, and he threw some characters in there that are about families. It's you and me, and it's not in the future, it's not in the past, it's kind of right now. And that must be one of the reasons why it still resonates with us.
Yeah, and it's, of course, movies with such a huge fan base. Are you happy to finally be able to share it with the world?
Yeah, this is what it's all about. I mean, we have worked for a year now, and other people have worked for many years on this one, and now we hand it over. This is what it's all about in a Star Wars film. There are a group of people out there starving and anticipating, and we can only cross our fingers that they will embrace it.
Yeah, they're everywhere. And where do you base your research from? Is it just watching the old ones over and over again?
Not so much. The research is for me always in the script, our little Bible, in the sense that everything is in there, and what's not in there is in the mind of the director, and then we start discussing it and talking about it with fellow actors. So that's always my basic research. If I had to do something very specific and learn a skill of writing, I would obviously go and do that or read something about whatever. But in this case, it's the script.
So how does it feel to be here and to finally show it to the world?
It feels pretty good. We've had the premiere in LA, which was, that was a great night. People, it was very important to us that we not bring in, we didn't want to bring in anything that was not fantastic. And Gareth has done a great job. This is a fantastic Star Wars film. I'm really proud of it.
And it's all about the fan base, right? And all the feedback has been amazing. So
The Star Wars fans, and the relationship between the Star Wars movies and the Star Wars fans is very, very strong. It's pretty much unique in terms of films and their fans. So what the fans think is incredibly important. And so far, we're making people very happy.
What do you think makes these stories resonate so much, so well internationally?
I think they're timeless stories, whether you look at Greek mythology or Hindu mythology or Star Wars, which draws heavily on those. These are timeless stories with timeless themes about family and standing up for what you believe in and hope. And I think right now that's a message that the whole world is eager to hear. A story about different people from different backgrounds and planets all coming together to take on a big challenge. I think that's a very resonant message for our times.
Yeah, you can even see it in the cast, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think these days it just makes sense for our stories to be as diverse as our audience, because our audience is global, so should our stories be.
And it's, movies with such a huge fan base. How is it for you to interact with the fans and talk about it now that you can share it finally?
It's still a few days away from release, so I don't want to give away too much, but it's definitely a massive relief and a thrill to see that fans at screenings have responded so well. It's I think we worked very hard over a long period of time, so for it to be received well is just the icing on the cake.
What do you think makes these movies resonate so well internationally, especially?
Well, I think number one, it's pretty obvious, multicast. That's what movie is all about anyway, because when you make a movie, you're showing the whole world. and the whole world is made up of different people, and it represents the world that we live in today. Secondly, because it is a standalone movie, you don't have to watch the previous stories to understand what's going on, and you don't have to expect the sequel to understand. You can walk away with a very happy and satisfying feeling after watching one movie.
Yeah, no, it's great. And the fan base on this is so huge. How is it for you? Have you heard or any feedback? Do you share?
It's been so well. It's only been what, a day or two since LA premiere. So far, so overwhelmingly positive. I mean, as an actor, I mean that's the best we can wish. Beside the movie hitting the box office or winning awards individually, but the rewarding feeling is ultimately is absolutely. So far so good.
How does it feel to finally be showing this to the world?
So good. It's about time. You know, it's been 2 years in the making, and it's just after seeing the movie and responding, I loved it. It's a very powerful movie. I wanted everybody to see it immediately. I was like, I want to talk to people about this. I don't want to sit in silence anymore and keep secrets anymore. I want to have reactions from people. So I'm ready for that. I'm ready to have discussions with everybody.
So what do you want to say about it? And how do you think, I mean, it's such an international cast, how do you think it resonates
Right.
internationally so well?
Yeah, I feel like it's great that there are so many different nationalities in this movie. It makes perfect sense to me because the movies, the Star Wars movies, have always had aliens from different planets and different races and all of that, and it's always been very inventive and imaginative. That the imagination didn't translate to humans, and it's about time. And I think it just works so well, and it's such a great. We gelled really well as a cast, and it's a cool ragtag group of people.
Yeah, totally. And a word about your character?
What's that? A word about character? K2SO is a Imperial droid who's been reprogrammed, and he works with Cassian Andor, so now he's on the Alliance side. He's sort of petulant, he's kind of like a child at times, and he'll say things that are a little bit rude, but he ultimately has a good heart, and he's devoted to Cassian. And at first, he's not really happy about everybody coming on board, but he comes around because everybody has a place in this mission, and if one of the people aren't there, it's not going to work. They all need to be there, and K2's one of those.
Tell us, what do you think makes the Star Wars series resonate so well internationally?
It's about human stories. It's not set in the future. It's not about spaceships and robots. It's about the past as much as anything. It's about history and mythology and fairy tales. And it's all the stories we've ever told all around the world since the dawn of man, but they just happen to have robots in and spaceships. And so I think it resonates with everyone because it taps into something very primal. Like, it doesn't matter where you're from, the stories at the heart of it are kind of the things that children and adults want to hear. They're like life lessons in a way for the world, as crazy and fantastical as they might seem.
And it's such an international cast as well. Is that something you enjoy?
Yeah, I mean, our film takes place when the rebellion is fractured and sort of still forming, and so we had to represent different groups, from different planets, and I feel like in a film where you have robots and talking fish, you should at least be representing the whole of humanity, and so it was great to do that, and once you open your mind to all the different ethnicities that you can have, then you can hire any actor you want, and so I feel like we got the best actors in the world involved in our film, and I'm really proud of what they did. I mean, it's an incredible cast.
Yeah, and the fan base for this is just huge and crazy. How much do you take this into account?
You can't really. The problem is, I mean, I'm a massive, massive fan. I watched Star Wars every day as a kid, and if there's a moral from the original Star Wars movie, is when Luke is trying to attack the Death Star, he turns off his computer and just trusts his instincts. And we had to turn off our computer and not look at the internet and just trust that we were going to hit our target and go for it. And so that's what we did.